coming into the picture.
Question number 6, Maggie Barry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Health. Has any progress been made on the zero fees for under-6s scheme, taking coverage over and above the 70% of children covered in 2008 achieved by the previous government?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, great progress. This government, despite very tight financial times and other countries cutting their health budgets, has put an additional $17 million more into the free under-6s daytime GP services. Now, the percentage of children aged under 6 who are enrolled at a practice offering free GP visits during the day is 93%. And what's more, if you look at the poorest families, we've lifted the proportion of high-needs children aged less than 6 years old who are receiving free GP visits during the day to 98%. So this is all about lifting everybody, especially those most in need.
Maggie Barry.
What progress is the government making with free after-hours visits for under 6-year-olds?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
Mr. Speaker, over 90% of children under 6 have access to free after-hours doctors' visits. One of the benefits of this new program from the government is that it has encouraged more GPs to join the zero fees scheme and offer free doctors' visits during the day. For example, in Wellington, Capital Coast now has 100% of its practices offering free visits during the day, and all children in the region have access to free after-hours GP visits, and the West Coast has also achieved this fantastic result. This is yet another preventative health investment the government is making at the top of the cliff as part of its increase of around $2 billion of extra funding in public health services, a very, very significant increase internationally.
The Honourable Marion Street.
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker, what progress has been made to roll out free after-hours care for under-6s in the southern region, given that even as late as 2 weeks ago there were only 3 practices listed to provide those services in the whole region, and one of Dunedin's main after-hours providers had not signed up because it is not satisfied it could cope with the demand?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
Mr. Speaker, there is free after-hours GP services available in Dunedin. There are negotiations underway, particularly for the more rural areas.
Question. Beg your pardon, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is this, quotes, lifting everybody, especially those in need, into, quotes, free GP visits, the very same policy that New Zealand first introduced, having been opposed by the National Party, who described it as improvident, squandrous and wasteful?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
That's so long ago. What I'd say is that, yes, that policy was introduced under the National New Zealand First Coalition government, a government that I remember and certainly enjoyed working with that member when we sold a minority stake, I recall, in the Auckland International Airport.
Question number. Is this a
yes?
Point of
it
order?
Is a point
order.
Of,
I cannot hear.
It is
point
a point of
right
order.
Winston Peters.
Do you notice, Mr. Speaker, that add-on, which usually...
Order. Order. Now the member will resume his seat. I can hear immediately this is not a point of order. I am. The member need only reflect back on the question he asked. He invited the Minister to comment on, in his question, he invited the Minister to comment on New Zealand's First's previous policies, and if members invite Ministers to comment, they will. Point of order, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Which part of my question to the Minister is A, inaccurate, not true, or was something that invited that response?
Order. The part of the members, I invite him to go back and look at his question again. He asked the Minister whether or not a certain policy had come in, had been introduced by the New Zealand First Party when it was in government. Now, they invited, therefore, the Minister to comment on matters to do with the New Zealand First Party. When members do that, if they wish to, I better be careful the language I use, but if members invite ministers to comment on matters to do with their own parties, they shouldn't seek the Speaker's help if the members comment in a manner the ministers comment in a manner the member didn't expect. Point of order, the Right Honourable Winston.
What happened to the standing order where ministers are required in their answers to be terse and to the point?
Order. It is very simple. If the member runs risks, let me therefore put it more bluntly if the member is not seeing it. If members during question time wish to grandstand, they can expect. They are inviting ministers to comment on on the issues they are raising. Question time is about asking ministers for matters they are responsible for. I don't believe this minister was responsible for the matter the member raised, and therefore the member was a little surprised at the answer he got. But it's a lesson in asking questions.
Point of order.
Point of order, the Right Honourable Winston.
Point of order. Mr. Speaker, he is the minister in charge of the extension of the free GP visits policy. This is a simple matter of a reminder of the minister of some historic fact which is relevant to the issue.
Order.
It is not grandstanding.
Order. The member will resume his seat immediately. The member will resume his seat immediately if he wishes to stay in the House. The House does not carry on in this way, and such points of order are totally unnecessary, and the member should reflect on it next time he asks questions. Question number 7, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
My question is to the Associate Minister of Education.